This is what we're hoping is episode number 1 of our future podcast. My name is Kim.
I'm Nick.
And this is a bit of a crazy story. So when Nick was 3 years old, I was his teacher. Life has a bit of a crazy way of coming full circle. We're now co-workers. So Nick has been working with me here at Plan to Live this summer, which has been a real trip. We have been having tons of conversations. Nick is now 21 years old, a university student. And I am a mom who is sitting here panicking in the last mile, asking him so many questions while I have access to him here in the building every day about what his experience is like, because my daughter is 17. She's got one more year of high school left before she's walking that walk. Last minute parent panic, tons of questions. And my student has now become my teacher, which is pretty cool. Here I am asking Nick lots of questions. So if you have questions yourself, if there's things that you're curious about as a parent who's got growing students yourself, about to take that step from teenager into young adult, pop them in the comments below and we'll do our best to try and get to those questions on future episodes. Today, I'm just asking Nick a little bit about what that experience was like. I feel like my parent heart says, oh my gosh, I'm going to literally drive her that last mile to school and I'm dropping her off. And the crazy town part of my brain says she's on her own once I've got her there. Walk me through what that first experience was like for you.
Yeah, I think honestly, Kim, it was the exact same for us. I remember we got there, my parents dropped me off at Western when I started there, Soggy Maitland Hall, you know. Yeah. And it was out of the movies. There were parents outside crying, there was like people screaming, like laughing. Literally my mom too. Never thought my mom would cry. I thought she would send me off and flat her down. Yeah. Get out. Kidding. But she was like tearing up. And ever since coming to Plan to Live, I can understand the whole independent side and the whole, your life really is starting. It's like you get that full control away from home. It's crazy.
I think prior to being here at Plan to Live, I maybe didn't really feel that the gravity of building my children as financially confident. Let's be honest, I've spent a great number of years feeling around in the dark, trying to figure things out, starting over, trying again. And we talk a lot here about that financially confident piece. So I think that one of the biggest things that weighs heavy on my heart is that when I set her off, okay, we've paid the tuition bill, we've paid for her to go into residence or place to live, and then she's out there standing on her own. And I've spent so much time in her childhood making sure that all those bits and pieces are taken care of. So me relinquishing, not a control, but me letting go of that and making sure that she feels financially confident. She likely feels way more confident than I feel in letting go. So that parent crying in the drop-off line, yeah, 100%. That's totally going to be me. I'm probably going to cry the whole way there. Not because she doesn't deserve this experience and she's not ready for it, but I think it's that next piece where I go, oh my gosh, am I ready? Have I done my job? That last panic, I think, is coming from, have I taught her everything that I need to teach her so that she's standing there feeling like she's confident in herself and in her decisions? Yeah. I'm curious, what was like one of the first financial decisions or things that you really did on your own once after drop-off happened?
I think that's just a great question, Kim, because the first financial realization I had was that you had to have that realization in university. I think when you go to university, you're so excited with the friends and the experiences you're going to have, the people you're going to meet, the classes, all of that. And I'm very lucky. The last thing I ever thought about was the finances. And then it's once you're there, it's like after the first week and you go to Tim Hortons or you go to these places and you're not working, or at least I wasn't working, and the money's just going out. And then you get into maybe a month or 2 months, you start going out and you start exploring the city and you start making all these plans with all these new friends that you are making. And even just from watching wrestling, some people have gone to gambling, some people have gone to like all of these strange kind of financial potholes that I never even considered. Because when you are at home, it's like everything's paid for you. When you're there, I'm just tapping my student card to pay for my food. We all said money was fake there. It was like we were living in a dream.
Seriously?
It was.
Was that because you were in residence first year?
Yeah.
I just learned about this. Yeah. The fact that you have to be a part of the meal plan when you live in residence. That blew my mind. We just did our very first tour. Like I said, she's a year out, right? We're just starting to step into this process. And that totally blew my mind that they weren't even really allowed to cook in their own dorm room
Yeah.
stuffing. It was just like that was already paid for. So you just go and it literally is. You tap a card,
and
it's like
nothing
fake
goes.
money. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is. There's a notification. At least
Yeah.
with my Scotiabank, I a little thing. Oh, do
Right.
this. Oh, great. I probably shouldn't spend that money. I can see it. It'll haunt me.
Right.
They're totally fake.
When you're going and you're getting lunch and you're getting whatever, like, are you trying to stick within a budget, like certain number of meals a day? Or is it just a free for all, whatever you want, whatever you can eat, that's part of the package? How did that work? Like, how did you keep track if you needed to?
Yeah, that was the big thing for me too. Was I think we front loaded $3,000 into my meal
Mhm.
plan, and in my head, I'm like $3,000 for food. That's a lot. At Western, they do this thing where you weigh your meals and they charge you based on the weight.
Okay.
It's like maybe like $5-10 a meal. But then all of a sudden in February, it declined. I was like, what is this? Freshman 15 got me. I'm kidding, but I was like, oh my God, that's $1,000. I'm gonna have to call my mom about this. And I told her, and we put like another $2,000 on, just like get me through the year. And I was like, wow, I really didn't think I was spending that much, and I wasn't tracking
It
at
went so
all.
fast. And there's no app or there's nothing that receipts it for you?
There is. You can log into the student thing, but it's like this
Mhm.
whole process. It's kind of a complicated login thing.
Not very user friendly then.
Yeah, and not that I really was inclined to check anyway,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think it's those pieces where having her be able to go and she's got this meal package, great, but she's got to now keep track of that. And I've never asked my kids to keep track of the spending in our household because as a parent, I never wanted my kids to feel the gravity of the cash flow in and out of the house. So I wanted them to have this childhood where the refrigerator was magically stocked, right? I wasn't really having those conversations with them about the expense of groceries and things like that because I really thought that I was protecting them from having to feel either that, oh my gosh, do we not have enough money? I didn't want to create too much conversation about it. But now I'm sitting here going, but did I create enough conversation about it that as she is going and she's in the middle of her student meal plan, she is doing a bit of a mental track or she's making a habit of logging into whatever that online portal looks like to make sure that she's staying on the up and up of it and she's not all of a sudden go, I now can't pay for this meal. So it's a really fine line right now with trying to figure out, have I used enough sort of verbal reminders and taken them along with me into the grocery store and talked about money enough, but not too much. I don't, as a parent, did I do that right? I have no idea because now she's going to have to do it without me. I can't shelter this. If she goes to tap her meal card and it declines, she's going to have to be standing in front of them going, I can't pay for that. I need to go figure this out. Sorry. She's going to have to migrate herself through a situation like that. So that would definitely feel very new.
Oh, it's huge. And that's what it really shocked me too, because I've always been pretty on top of my finances. I lied on my resume when I was 14 to say I was 15 so I could get my first job. And because I wanted money, I wanted to be able to do my own thing, have my own kind of freedom, I guess.
Yeah, good for you.
What I spend. Yep. And I think the reason I was always like that was because my grandma always drilled into me, like, you need to know where every dollar goes. At the end of every day, she would sit down, she would count her pennies and know exactly how much she spent and how much was in her account. And I wasn't to that extent. Maybe once a month I would go in and check, oh, hey, there's a lot of Tim Hortons on my, maybe I can cut that back. Yeah. Maybe I can do this. And then it was a huge wake-up call in university when I got there. And then I fell into that trap because it wasn't my money. I didn't maybe respect it as much as I should. And it was like this overarching theme. Like I said, we all would always say, this is just fake. This is like a fever dream. This is fake money. And I think the biggest impact that had on my life was actually after first year when we moved out into our own house. Okay. And I was there with some of my friends and then my roommates and other people you meet throughout university. And some people never got over the fact that they were actually with their own money now. Their bank account actually has zero. And yes, mom and dad would probably top it up if you got too low and if you ran into trouble. But there was never that realization that, hey, we're in the real world now. You have to pay for your stuff. Yeah. All of a sudden, the refrigerator is truly stocked by you. Exactly. So that really wasn't until second year for you then. Yeah. I did this hilarious thing last night with my kids. I decided that I was really tired of complaints about what we were having for dinner because I'm the parent. I'm buying the groceries. So I'm going to decide what we're going to eat, right? I said, no, enough's enough with this. And I have now challenged them. I've given a budget to spend over the course of a week. Yeah. They need to come up with meals for our family. They have to have a protein and a vegetable.
in every single meal.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start with $35 a day and see if they can do it. The catch is, so I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. The catch is they have to do it together. They have to go to the grocery store because my 17-year-old's driving on her own. If you can figure out that you've got a grocery store that's a little bit further away, but you're going to save some money, rock out. Yeah, you look at the flyers, you guys start to plan this. And I have told them that whatever they don't spend out of the budget, they get to split, and it has to go into their savings account. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
so excited to see what they do with this. So they started planning last night. Of course, my 14-year-old immediately goes into Canva and just wants to create a pretty menu.
Yeah.
So on brand for her. And then my 17-year-old is researching. This is now a challenge. So I'm
perfect duo.
Yeah, this totally is fitting the theme.
Yeah.
Second year when you're stocking your own refrigerator.
Yeah.
I'm hoping by that point she's pretty slick with the Instapot or the air fryer.
Yeah.
Working on the crock pot. Hoping is it?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, she loves that thing. I'm hoping that those things, that this challenge means that when she's going to be at that point where she's stocking her
Yeah.
own refrigerator, she's shopping the flyers or
Yeah.
she's looking at what a budget looks like. Because like I said, as a parent, I did everything I could to shelter them from ever feeling the gravity of money or the
Yeah.
fear of it. And now I'm on the other side of it where I'm like, I want you to just have just a healthy enough fear that you are paying attention, that you're tracking it,
Yeah.
that you're looking to what you can capture to save for a rainy day, for those plans
Yeah.
that start adding up fast, or even to save, to invest, to create future
Yeah.
finances for yourself out of it. I'm gonna keep you posted on this little challenge, but
That's an amazing idea. I love
I
that.
know it's amazing.
Yeah.
It may destroy my kitchen. It may wind up in a sister argument, but for right now, they're pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, that's good. Growing pains. Good.
Growing pains. That's awesome. Thanks, Nick. I think that this was really awesome sitting with you.
Too.
Yeah, this is fantastic and pretty exciting that you were once my student. Now look at all that I've learned. Now you're my teacher, so this is awesome.